Yo, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to another account review for the Oath season. Now, we ended off in Emperor, not Legend, because the cutoff was super crazy during like the last few days, and I actually decayed while hanging out with some friends, so I wasn't able to climb. But we got Emperor anyways, so I mean, good enough. The frame is pretty good. I like it better than the other seasons, so that's why I actually have it equipped. And we have the Briar skin, of course, as well. I'm also not really a fan of like the profile card thing. It looks kind of weird, but whatever. So yeah, we're just gonna be going through my units that I use for this season, or pretty much every unit I have here. And it might be a little bit longer than the other ones because I have a lot more tech that I had this season compared to last season. But I feel like I'm on the cusp of being able to compete with Legend players if I just have like a little bit faster gear. And because I don't have like takedown gear, right? So my only option is to outspeed, but Legend players are really fast. So anyways, Melissa, I mean, this is the same build as from last season. I dropped her like once and she lost me the game, so yeah, so I love this Briar skin. I think it's amazing. And I drafted her a little bit here and there when I was playing against takedown teams, and they didn't have a way to cleanse any of my debuffs, or my Briar SC kind of just wiped the team. So yeah, speed bot Aiden. So this is my anti-Zeo Aiden, where I only drafted her against Zeo cleave teams. Of course, best case scenario is if you have a full damage Aiden, but having a fast Aiden like this lets me use her in other scenarios. Like for example, if I'm playing some sort of cleave that needs an anchor, then Aiden will be good in this scenario. So yeah, that's why she's not on Dreamblade, but yeah, pretty versatile Aiden. Another CP bot, another CP bot. Now Alika, she's on a full damage build instead of the speed build that I previously had her on last season, because you're only going to be drafting her to slow teams anyways, right? So the speed isn't too big of a deal, and it's a lot more important to get the kill rather than get the speed. So I got rid of like 20 speed on her, but I increased her MCD by like a crazy amount. So she can kill pretty much anything that she chooses to. Like she could even kill Karinas, like through like fucking Oriuses and shit, like any Karinas with this build. So I think this damage build is the way to go now. Here's my Ewig. Now this Ewig is kind of trash, but this is also before the Gearforge event, so once I have his two pieces, he'll be cracked. He'll have like the same speed, same attack, but more crit damage on Torrent, so that'll be really strong. But yeah, low-key one of the MVPs of the season. He needs to be 260 to be able to cut stuff like Sage Ball, to be able to use him in anti-Zeo drafts, just to cut everything, you know? The worst feeling is if you soul burn Zeo and then he doesn't cut a Lua or doesn't cut a Politis or something like that. So yeah. Here's my Straze. Nothing really changed. I guess he lost like 2 speed, but his MCD is really high again. Again, only use him against takedown teams. Usually paired with Alika or something that I know that he can just murder. So yeah. Kisei, again, only just an Ahmed follow-up and Gilwer. Now here's my Rand. Now you'll notice that he actually lost 2 speed. Because I was a Flitty cleaver and a Zero Rand cleaver. I was like shifting between the two playstyles, and I needed to sacrifice 2 speed for my Flitty. So this is my Rand, but then on the flip side, he actually gained a lot of crit chance. So it's very, very unlikely that I don't kill like a Watcher because I don't crit. I mean, it's like 8%, but like I'll take those odds, you know. Besides that, like his attack crit damage is around the same. Still RNL, so you can RNG win, you know, the basic Rand. Now here's my Vildred. I wish I could toss him on Torrent, but I just don't have enough Torrent gear right now. Because the biggest problem with him for me is him just not being able to kill openers. And yeah, his damage for me is just a little bit too low. I know this damage looks crazy, but it's not torrent, and his artifact isn't max, so he's missing some damage. But eventually, if I can get him with these stats on torrent with a maxed artifact, then I think he'll be good enough. Now here's my Ciceria. Yeah, she's fast as fuck because she needs to be able to. I use her against Zeo Trap teams, so she needs to be able to cut stuff. So usually I pair her with Sharklot, and we just go from there. Yeah, and then this speed is just to help her push against. If I'm pairing her with Zeo, right? Zeo, Blitty, Summertime, Izaria, then with this amount of speed, she'll cut with the Zeo, so she won't get outlapped by like a lure or something. Here's my Jacko. I took her off of the anti-Zeo build because I don't really use Politis Jacko like that, and most G-Perks are on proof, so she can't kill through proof. So instead, I just took off some speed and went even more damage. So with this build, she can one-tap Moon Bunnies through any mitigation, like even if they have Albedo or if they have Carmen. Zeo S3 into Jacko S3 just murders Moon Bunny. She can kill Lias from pretty much full health, assuming there's no mid though. But yeah, her S3 is like 30k to Elia, if she has a debuff, which is like insanely strong. But yeah, I drafted her pretty often. Really strong, like surprisingly strong into Karina if you pair it with Blitty, because Blitty can just disable the Karina for you. So yeah. Again, another Ahmed follow-up, but don't really draft him. Eligos, so there was this draft I did. It was Zeo Ran, Ilwig, C. Pavel, Eligos. Now, the draft is pretty good. It has a few weaknesses, but I mean, it's still really strong. And this is what I used as my second defense breaker in case Rand got banned. And it's really good into Auden, so you just soul burn, make sure I'm on crossbow so he never misses Aidens and stuff. And just he follows up, kills the Aiden, or just hits like a green unit, I guess. Does decent damage, but he's mainly there for the defense break for my Ilwig or C. Pavel. So yeah, really strong. I think I drafted him like once, and he fucking blew up like a aggro team, so this is my Guild War TML. I use her with Knockhole and what's her name? Jacko? Knockhole Jacko TML for the Shu, Ocean Breeze, and then Candy / AU Fiend teams. I draft this. So she kills through AU Fiend and just extincts her. And yeah, pretty nice. Here's my Politis. I used her a lot this season, probably like my third most picked unit, I'd say. Maybe my fourth most picked, I don't know. But she has, she's specifically tuned to go behind my Ran. Because the games I draft her, for example, let's say I go Zeo Blitty, right? If I go Zeo Blitty, Ran, Politis, and they have an Elena. So my Zeo goes, debuffs, Blitty goes, and that'll proc Politis, but if Politis cuts in front of Ran, that's bad, because I need my Ran to go first, so he defense breaks for the Politis. So with this speed, it lets me be just behind my Ran, and then, yeah, the rest is just all damage, and effectiveness, and attack, yeah. So she just wipes anything after. If I can make her destruction, I would, but I don't have destruction gear, and she needs to be around this speed, so. Here's my damage Sid. Now, this Sid's pretty cracked, I think. It's like 260, like, pretty high MCD, not gonna lie. With Soul Burning, he pretty much kills anything he wants to. Yeah, pretty strong unit, not gonna lie. He's probably the best imprint, so. Really, really good. I don't draft this unit anymore, sadly, because it's no longer 2022. Celine. Now, there's a draft I used Celine in. She's kind of a tech for some cleave if they bring a non-attack skill user like Fire Lilius or Karina, and I can use that to my advantage where I can just proc the Celine and kill like their squishy unit or squishy DPS or something. On the flip side, I can also use her against ML Poli, where I draft her with Politis and what's her name? Infinite Horizon Acades. That was like one of my techs I did versus Poopist, where he was racing me with ML Poli and Imprints, and I just drafted Poli, Celine, and Acades, and then he couldn't deal with it. Acid, you know, not really drafted, so. Steny, now I know she's like fucking paper, but I only drafted Steny when I was playing anti-Zeo. That's essentially really it. She just bakes. She's around this speed, so she can cut with my Veronica, she can cut with my Landy, etc. Yeah. So that's why she's not a pen set, because I just don't have the gear to make her 220 with pen set, but good enough. Good enough. Here's my C Pavel. He's on Torrent Destruction. I only recently got him on Torrent set, actually. But now he does way more damage with the, what's it called? Torrent set. Like, Torrent set gives him like 500 attack, so he's probably like 5400 right now. So, if he was on crit set before. Yeah, so pretty cracked C Pavel. Opsig, yeah, I don't really draft her too much. I don't think she's that good, but if she gets buffed, then I'll use her more. But the problem is just her damage. It's a little bit too low. If she gave attack buff before she S2s, then I think that'll be a huge buff for her. Yeah. Here's my summer break. Now here's one of my MVPs. Used her against trap teams, and she's 260, so she cuts anything with Sharklap plus Caesarea push. And then my last pick would be like a Rowana that they had to force ban usually. So yeah, really strong. Don't really draft it. I don't really draft RB that much because even I think I used him like once against Lunal, where my RB procced Gab and like wiped his team. But that was like, I got pretty lucky because, I mean, number one, I procced Gab, and then I think he actually took a second turn and I procced Gab again. I don't remember, but it was something like that. Here's my Genua. He's on Speed Torrent, not the greatest gear, but he is really, really strong. If they ever pick Aiden early, or Ed early, what I like to do is pick Karina Genua. Now, what that lets me do is, it lets me use their counterattacker to my advantage. So I can pick Genua Karina, proc their Aiden or Ed, and it procs my Genua and my Karina, and then I just cleave their whole team with Karina and Genua. S1, S3, and then Karina S3, and they all just die. So that was a fun tech I did. That's why he's on this sort of speed, so he can cut. My anti-Zeo, or I guess, yeah, anti-Zeo Landy. Surprisingly, I didn't draft her as much as I thought I would, because I drafted Steny most of the time in place of Landy. So it'll be like Flitty, Veronica, Jeeper, Christy, and then Steny instead of Landy. The only time I went Landy is if they went a lot of blue units. So yeah, like Sharklot and Ran. My Tenebria, I don't really use her too much. I used her once, but she got force banned because she like destroyed that team, but she's not that good. I don't really use this unit either. Astromancer, I think I used her a lot. Probably somewhere in my top 10. Because I don't pre-ban Candy, which means I picked this unit a fuck ton. So, yeah. I mean, just enough damage. Attack percent boots, you know, she can wipe. My Ada, now the thing about my Ada is she's designed to be paired with my Ran, which means she needs to be around this speed, but her other stats are also important, right? She needs attack and crit damage and effectiveness, so this is the best I can do. Honestly, the crit chance is whatever because she's AoE, so it's more important you land the CC that she has on her S2 and S3 instead of the damage, to be honest. But there's still enough damage to one-shot Steny in case I need to. Zahak, I think I drafted him only when I'm Flitty cleaving, when I was doing the Fumir drafts with, it was like Flitty, Knockle, Zahak, Fumir, DDR, or something like that. Yeah, pretty good in those scenarios. standard imprint. Here's my Zeo. Now my Zeo build changed a lot. So I used to run an attack percent Ringohin, but I started fighting a lot of Elenas and Moon Bunnies. So I swapped over to a effectiveness build where this effectiveness is usually enough to deal with Elenas and Moon Bunnies. Not Sage Balls though. Sage Balls are a lot harder. But for those, I just have to draft like Rowan or Poultice or something. But yeah, I actually just got an upgrade on him today. I rolled this today, which is like pretty cracked on him. So I think his damage is pretty good. I mean, 3k attack, 240 crit damage, not bad with that effectiveness. So yeah, Wyvern. Okay, now here's my Flitica. I think this is my second most drafted unit this season, and the reason why I drafted her so much is just because she's so strong if you pair her with the right stuff. She's like, her paired with Fumir and DDR is just inhuman. It's just so strong. And then you just have to pair with like Veronica, Knockwool, and Zahak and like Sid, Zahak, Sid, Blitty, Gala. Those are the 4 greenies I used. But the firiness, it was mainly just Veronica and Knockwool. Oh, and then if they pre-ban DDR, then I just pick Caesarea instead. So Caesarea kind of like, they kind of do similar things. It's just stun instead of sleep, you know? So my Shuri, just as regular speed imprint. He can kill like imprints, and that's really all he's there for. So I pair him with like Wander, S2, S1, and he just pushes up, and he goes from there. Here's my Gloomy Rain, mainly just for Guild War, if I'm using Zeo Ilwig Gloomy Rain. But yeah, not much else besides that. LPK, I need to regear to pen set. So once she gets her buff, I'll be regearing her because I think she'll be really strong after. But yeah, until then, she can just have that. Here's my Sez, my Amin or my Flan follow-up. He's really, really good into these sort of like, how do I say it? These solo DPS teams, or anything that has like, anything that's a bruiser, right? So Candy, Senya, Aiden, any sort of like these mid-range HP like Abyssal Yuffie. He can just bake, and then like the splash damage pretty much kills them if they have defense break, or if I have like attacker damage buff. Yeah, it just does so much. So yeah. And he also can kill a Carmen, like with his Soul Burn, which is pretty strong from full health. Alright, now here's my Cleave Lionheart. I think I drafted her a couple times. It's funny because this gear is like actually insane on her. Like the average equipment score is like fucking high. I think so. I drafted her a couple times. Like she bakes, but I can't really use her because everyone's using ML Poly. So, but the chances I do get to use her, she's really strong. Drafted her like once. Not Cole, my other MVP. Yeah. So she is. So I had a couple styles of cleave I like to do. One was Zeo Ran. The other one was Flitty, and then another one was Zeo Nako Blitica. That was like the core I liked doing a lot. She's on like 212 effectiveness just to debuff like Elena's or sometimes Moon Bunnies. Yeah. And also she's on this defense break artifact because I'm cleaving with her, right? So she needs to be on this artifact. If I land this on like a Laya or something, then the Laya just dies. So yeah, skip. Didn't really use skip. Just for the event department right now, I'm probably gonna take off this gear on her because I don't think she's gonna be that good. So skip. He lost his job. I don't know why she's still geared. Here's my Cleave ML Ken. Now, only paired with Amit and only picked against ML Landy. But if he gets through, he just blows up that team. So pretty nice. Here's my Karina. I changed her build a little bit where I gave her defense percent main stat boots now, because my speed before was a little bit too fast, and with this speed, I can go more into defense, and which lets me do more damage, but it still lets me cut, so I can just play into the same like matchups with Janua, and then if they go like 8 and Ed, I just pick this and Janua, as I mentioned before, and then just blow up their team. So pretty cool. PvE stuff. Closer, I didn't really pick him too much. I don't really think the meta is too strong for him. There's just way better openers. So P-Plan I picked like once, and she worked out very well. I mean, she does her job. Like, she's just meant to control, and then, yeah, if she can control, then awesome. Here's my Politica. Now, my Politica is 270 because I draft really aggressively, obviously, so she needs to be around this speed. And she has effectiveness, HP, you know, the standard stuff. I want to say probably my 5th or 6th most picked unit. I drafted her so much. I think she's very, very strong. Again, she's just able to one-shot like all the bruisers, right? Assuming you Zeo S, even through mid, because assuming you Zeo S3 plus Blitty S2, that chips them down enough where Blitty can just kill them. So yeah, my Blitty can like always one-shot Landies, always one-shot Karinas, etc, etc. Wyvern one-shot. So here's one of my anchors I use this season, along with Arya. He's not that good, but like, I don't have good gear that's like health oriented, so this is the best I can do. I mean, he does his job, so that's really all I need him to do. Speaking of another anchor, Arya. Now, Arya was probably my best anchor. She's really strong into the matchups I'm weak against, so she always ended up being really good. Except she's not going to Laya, obviously, but anything else. Almond follow-up. Here's another Almond Flan follow-up that I picked maybe like twice. I wish I could get a little bit more damage, but I mean, this is good enough for now. So Fairy Tail. Now I don't really draft her because I'd rather just use other control units. So sorry, Fairy Tail. Yeah, PvE, just random gear. Rem. So I had an idea with Rem. This is like a recent build I had. I wanted to use her against the cleave team. Now I know she's really squishy, so I pair her with like actually I don't even need to pair her with anything because I had a Victorious Flag. Yeah, this is a tech, so she won't die with a Victorious Flag. And if she counters once and jumps up into the air, their whole team just dies. That was the goal with my Rem. And I damage counted with my friend, and I think she can one shot anything that's like 9k HP and under. So pretty damn good. I've yet to use her though because I built her up like the very end of the season. So yeah. Here's my trash Laya. She couldn't kill what was it? She couldn't kill a Zeo through mid, which is like kind of embarrassing. But like, I mean, my Laya's trash, so I guess it's to be expected. But yeah, I drafted her in case they anti-cleave like immediately off the rip in the beginning. Like if they pick like a Sage Ball first pick or second pick, I'm like, okay, I'm slamming Laya down. Yeah, this unit's like broken. So even with this shitty build, she still wins me games. Now here's my J Kisei. I mean, she's okay if she is picked into a bunch of counterattackers, obviously, and you need a second D break. Like, her S2 is definitely her best ability. It's just she's so weak to 15%, so that's the only thing. Oh yeah, and then she's on crit to activate C-Powell. See, I didn't really draft. Here's my Gala. Now my Gala isn't that strong, but I only used Gala in the Flitty drafts as my green, and I would use her against stuff like Laya, or against stuff like what's her name, Scarowells and Carmens and stuff. Help me deal with those. So yeah. My Para, I didn't really use Para too much. I only used her when Ran was banned, which I guess was more than often, but even during those times, I would just flighty cleave. So it was pretty rare where I actually drafted Para, but I did draft her a little bit, and she did her job. So now my Fumir, designed for just to be able to debuff anything, and she's speed tuned so she won't accidentally lap my Sid or something like that. And she's on like oh god, my voice, I've been talking so much. Yeah, she's around 240 effectiveness, so I wish I had a little bit more. Like if I can hit like 260, 270, then I'll really be able to just start punishing like Destinas and stuff, but good enough for now. Here's my Christie again. I don't have the best FRS gear, so this is the best I can do. Like, it's okay. 281's alright. So, yeah. Just there for Zeo trapping, that's really it. Now here's my T-Cernan. I changed her build, actually, funny enough, even though this unit's trash, because I wanted her to kill with the S2, S3. So when I'm racing with Zeo, right, he'll have Bucked, I can Sovereign Cernan, and now she's like on a build where she can actually kill on an S2, S3 with this, so let's go. Here's my Veronica. She actually got my Flitty's old necklace, so now she's like pretty fast, and yeah, just on a regular Veronica build, can kill with the bomb, if it's on like a squishy unit, so that's really it. As Cat, I wanted to experiment using him in anti-Zeo drafts with Aiden, and I had him on this speed so he can cut with Guide to a Decision, but I haven't fully tested it yet, but I think eventually I want to start doing that. So yeah, he's on immunity so he can not get debuffed up the ass. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, excuse me. Elvira, I mean, I don't really use her. She got nerfed and I just haven't touched her since. Yeah, Designer only used against like these really heavy Caesarea Rand cleave teams. My DDR is still on the effectiveness build. I don't since I use him aggressively, I don't have any reason to use him on Soul Constellation, so yeah, hella effectiveness to be able to debuff anything he wants to with this to help, and yeah, this unit's pretty cancer. Unit is trash. My DPS G perk when I'm trapping, pretty good. Even if he gets debuffed by Zeo, I mean his S1 still bakes, right? Because his S1 still scales off of his HP, so yeah, he can still bake anything he wants. Now my Flan I only drafted with Ahmed, so it was pretty rare. But like, I mean 200 effectiveness is not bad, right? So we'll take those. LQC, I had plans to use her, but I feel like she needs another Tachi, which I just don't have right now, so what can you do? Yeah, PvE. Here's my candy, so yeah, all the candies this season were super aggressive with like insane damage but less bulk. And mine's no different, just almost 4k attack with 274 crit damage. Gear score wise, he's actually not bad. Like, not the best, but not bad either, so there's games I drafted her because I don't pre-ban her, so unless I'm Flitty cleaving, then I pre-ban her. Here's my Kayron, only used against imprint teams without Veronica. Now here is the most broken unit in the game. I didn't really draft her that much, I'll be honest. If you're a cleaver, you don't really have a reason to use her. Because you'd rather just use Zeo, Flitty, Rand, Knockle instead. But she is geared just for guild war purposes, where I pair her with like Janua and like Blitty or some shit. Just a regular speed imprint, nothing new here. S2 bakes. Yeah, and again, another anti-conk pick. If conk players are like banning Zeo Rand, then I usually take like a Para Moon Bunny or some shit. So It's an option, or I could just fleet cleave, but I don't know. It depends how I feel that day. Yeah, Soul Constellation to give me tempo with the S3. I don't know why she has a blue piece, but fuck it. Also, how much ER does she get on her S2? 30%. So like my ER is pretty trash, isn't it? I guess it's like 200 something. Never mind, it's not too bad. Okay. Again, they don't really draft Lua too much. I guess her place got stolen off by ML Police, and no one has her geared anymore. Now here's my Biblis. So when I used Biblis, I used her against counterattackers. It was this weird tech that I found from someone else. So she was originally on Drink because some guy used Drink on it. I was like, oh shit, that's pretty smart. But I don't have enough attack, so I couldn't run Drink, so I'm just running this instead. 4k attack, so does okay damage, and then if she gets a debuff, then that's pretty huge for me. So yeah, 252, so she cuts after the counterattack with a 20% CR cut, so nice. I guess Rift. Now here's my aggressive AOL. So I only drafted AOL if they took Poultice early. If you don't know how that matchup works, AOL beats Poultice if you activate their Poly first, but Poultice beats AOL if you activate their AOL first. So usually as the aggressor, I'm activating Poultice first with like my Ran S2, or like my Ahmed S2, or like anything that procs an attack skill, like my Ciceria or Astromancer. And that's when I will draft AOL. She'll just cut in front of the Poultice, S3, and then we go from there. And my whole team gets killed too, so. Yeah, just cooking. Ahmed, S2, S3, you know, the cancer combo from a year ago. She still can do it, it's just a lot harder to pull off because there's like Moon Bunny, there's like, I mean, you have to take Zeo with Ahmed, you're forced to. There's Candy, there's AU Fiend, you know. A lot of stuff that can cuck her, but picked like later in the draft, she's still pretty good. Wyvern, my Race Celeste, again, I only drafted her if I'm picking Flitty plus 4 imprints, and this will be my second speed lead as an imprint, so. Yep. Rowana, I mean, her build changed where she has a lot more attack now because I wanted to break barriers before stripping, right? So, as long as they don't have stealth, she can break through most barriers, and then she can apply the buff strip off of, like immunities and shit. So yeah. Best case scenario is if she had like 20 more F and maybe 200 more attack, but you know what? Whatever. We take what we can get. Don't really draft. Remnant Violet, I know this gear's like, I'm still working on him. I do have plans to use him as like a last pick anchor, but I don't know how well that's gonna work out, so yeah. I mean, he seems good on paper if I draft him into all the anti-counter stuff, so, or anti-cleave stuff. Amelia, I mean, yeah. Ravi, nothing really changed with her either. Same with APOC, kind of the same build. Don't really draft those units, you know, PvE. Again, only used him if it's a full water team with like some shit. Bellion, I prevent this unit all the time, so she didn't really get played. This was my mitigator of choice, FCC, because I don't have a Carmen or a Scarrow, so my choice of mitigation was FCC. I'm pairing her with Laya, Janua, stuff like that, Candy, so yeah. I mean, she's just a mitigator, that's really all it is. I wish I could max this out, but no gear. What can you do? Cleave Sharon, nothing changed. Yeah, just Lilius, I mean, don't really need to use her anymore because Lewis kind of falling out of the meta. Just the regular A-lot, it's pretty slow, but don't really use it too much. Here's my Guild War tech. I used Ning Ning if I'm using Jackal plus Briar against Scarewall, Celine, and Aiden, like the full light team. And this just lets me wipe that team in like, I mean, for free pretty much, right? She's on this artifact, so in case the Celine's on Storm Sword, she'll still cut after. And then she just S2s, and then Briar pushes up, S3s, and Jack could just kill the rest. So don't really use Mercedes anymore. This used to be my old Guild War tech, but not anymore. Yeah, just filler gear. Achilles. Okay, low key, my MVP against cleavers. Because I don't have a Sage Ball, right? So I had to use Achilles instead. Now, what makes her so strong is she's able to push up. I mean, I still think Sage Ball is better, but Achilles, like Sage Ball can get RNG. Achilles, there's no RNG with Achilles. You just push up a unit and you just wipe their team. Or wipe their key unit. So like, for example, if I have Aiden, I can push up an Aiden after she goes, and then just kill off like a Rand or some shit. Something that like threatens my team. And then they don't have any more, they can't do anything after, so. He's also on Eternus because, just lets me run a little bit slower build, because it's really hard to get speed on her because she's like base 100. So they debuff someone, she pushes up, and then she pushes up the 20% CR she has, and then she just takes her turn. This has claimed so many legend players, because I picked her with Politis, right? So Katie's Politis ends up being really strong for me. Yeah, I didn't really draft her. I'm not really a turn 2 player, so. Wyvern, PvE. I think that's mainly it. Yeah, I think that's it, so. How long was that? 36 minutes. I mean, it's a little bit longer count review, but it's to be expected. I had more units, right? So yeah. I think I will call it here. Hopefully next season we can end off Legend, but we'll see. We'll see. See you guys.